DeWanna Bonner is an absolute legend, and this is one of the lowest of the low things that I've seen in sports.
Dana Bonner is now Dana Goner. After a 5-game absence for personal reasons, it's now official, Dana is out of Indy. And Fever fans who were incredibly supportive during her unexplained absence aren't just disappointed, they feel betrayed. And it's not just because Dana was supposed to be the veteran leader guiding Caitlin Clark and helping the Fever make a real championship push. It's not even about the hype that came with her signing. It's why she reportedly wanted out. That's what's leaving a horrible taste in fans' mouths. In a season full of wild ups and downs, the Fever are once again in a tough spot. But here's the twist, this is a blessing. And recent developments prove it. Let's break it down. But first, give this a quick like if you kind of knew Dana was as good as gone. And hit subscribe for more WNBA updates.
DeWanna signed with the team. She said at this point in her career she's playing for championships and obviously have championship experience with those veterans they brought in. How much did that get to add to the culture or just what it takes to win at a high level?
Yeah, I mean, DB has been tremendous. Like, she's such a selfless leader. Like, she's here to win. She says that, but she like really means it.
In an off-season filled with hope for the Fever, Dana Bonner was seen as an important part of a possible championship run. She had the background, many all-star picks, titles, and even at 37 she was still getting good numbers. But more than her stats, it was her guidance that mattered most. Last season, the Fever, led by Caitlin Clark, pushed into the playoffs and became one of the most exciting teams in the WNBA. But they were beaten in 2 games by the Connecticut Sun, and after that loss, even Caitlin said it, the team didn't have enough playoff practice and older, experienced players. That's what Dana was brought in to help with. And at first she seemed like the perfect choice, saying all the right words, showing the team first attitude and playing the part of a calm, experienced player.
And also joining a team that's just impressive. I think everybody's seen the second half of their season, and it was an unbelievable season. And I just felt like they had a dynamic core, and I just wanted to be another puzzle piece into what they had. And hopefully I can give my knowledge, my leadership, and give it to these young players. So when I retire, they can pass it along. So I feel like they're young, but I also feel like they're a great young. They don't need too much coaching and too much leadership. They kind of figure it out themselves, and I'm just hoping that I can add to it and make basketball a little easier for them, and as well they can make it a little easier for me.
Got a hero's welcome. Fever fans quickly fell in love with her, bought her jerseys, gave her lots of support, and welcomed her like never before in her career. She, like all the free agents brought in during the off-season, seemed happy to be in Indy, enjoying the excitement of playing on a championship team in the most popular basketball place in the world. At least that's how it looked.
I guess to that point, how does this kind of compare to what you are used to?
Oh man, yeah, totally different atmosphere. The support here has been just phenomenal. I really can't go anywhere. I've been here like a week and a half, and everywhere I go, it's just like, we're excited for the season. Thank you for being here. So it's been really, really refreshing. And
you get that on the streets?
I'm sorry?
You get that on the streets?
Yeah, everywhere. Everywhere I go, it's just, can't even go to the grocery store without someone saying how excited they are. So it's just been really refreshing. I'm excited to be here.
Poise is still just 23 and learning on the fly, was genuinely excited to have her on the team. As you heard her say in the clip earlier, she saw Dana as a selfless leader who would do whatever it took to chase a championship. Are you sure about that? While Dana started on a high note, moving up to 3rd on the all-time scoring list in the Fever's dominant demolition of the Sky, the wheels started falling off almost immediately. She struggled out of the gate, averaging just 7 points per game, less than half of the 15 she put up last season. And while that poor start was partly on her, it also aligned with what fans and analysts were already starting to question. Did the front office bring in the right pieces to complement Caitlin Clark? And did Stephanie White actually have a plan to make this roster work?
I don't know what Stephanie White's doing exactly. I don't have a clue. Again, I don't know what the identity of this team is. I really don't. It seems like they play a different way every game. One could say, well, that's her game plan. She's game planning for each team. How's that working out for her?
Whatever the reason for the slump, after just 9 games, Dana was suddenly out of the team for personal reasons, and it happened to be the same game Caitlin Clark came back from injury against the Liberty. Before that, Stephanie White had also missed time for personal reasons, so fans naturally reacted with worry, thinking it might be something serious or about family. But as Dana kept missing game after game with no reason given, no injury label, and no clear idea of when she'd return, that worry quickly turned into confusion.
How is she doing? Is there any timeline for her return?
Yeah, she's doing well. She's doing well. Again, no timeline. I think it's day to day, and for us to just make sure that we're continuing to be supportive of the league.
And then the rumor talk started, getting louder. Fans said Dana had deleted fever-related posts from her social media. There were quiet talks about the team's store not sending her jersey orders. Even her banner was said to be taken down from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Now whether or not all of that is true almost doesn't matter, because the silence from the team only made guesses grow. And fans started doing what fans do, searching for signs, connecting clues, and deep down getting ready for the worst. Turns out they were exactly right.
Multiple league insiders are reporting to Annie Costabile, of course Annie Costabile is breaking this news, of Front Office Sports, that DeWanna Bonner has quote-unquote no interest in returning to the Indiana Fever, instead wanting to be in landing spots with either the Phoenix Mercury or the Atlanta.
This wasn't just online talk anymore. Several trusted sources were now saying it. Dana Bonner was basically gone. Of course, everyone looked to head coach Stephanie White. Surely now, with the news out there, we'd get some answers, some honest truth about the situation. But when she was asked about it, silence.
There were reports today that DB doesn't intend to return to the team. Just what conversations have you had with her and with the front office about that?
Yeah, I've had a lot of conversations recently. Really been focused on the group that we have right here, and what we need to do to position ourselves to win.
Dana's agent wasn't saying anything either, which, let's be honest, said a lot. If the reports were wrong, it'd be easy to stop them. A quick, not true, a tweet, message. But the silence, that's not just a no comment, that's almost a yes.
No comment is a comment. No explanation is an explanation. If we were trying to get back, we would have said, oh, we're trying to get back. We're trying to work some things out behind the scenes so both parties are satisfied moving forward. We don't even get that.
And remember how we all said Dana was that unselfish older leader, someone who just wanted to win a championship and do whatever was needed to. Well, if these reports are true, that way of thinking was gone the moment she was put on the bench. It seemed she wasn't okay with it. Smaller role, and instead of guiding the young group or helping Caitlin handle the early season pressures, gave up.
Multiple sources told Front Office Sports the fit in Indiana was off in the beginning. Bonner, who was signed to be an anchor to win with championship experience for the team's young core, was expected to be a starter. So basically, she stunk it up, got benched for Alexi, and was pissed. But it is what it is.
Now I'm going to talk about why this might actually be a hidden good thing in just a moment. But right now, it really hurts for Fever fans. They gave her a big welcome. They accepted Dana as a leader, someone who would shape the team, someone who was supposed to lead this young group to a championship. And during her time away, fans didn't just forget, they were truly worried about her health. Now, to hear she may have left just because she didn't like coming off the bench, fans feel shocked, and even worse.
She's on our team. We want to support her. Let's just give her some grace. And now we get some clarity on that situation. Now we get some understanding of that situation. And all of that grace can get thrown right out the window.
You have people fearing the worst for her family. You have people fearing the worst for everything. You have people saying that they hope everything's good with DeWanna Bonner. It turns out she apparently is just pissed off that she wasn't starter.
And then there's this. Dana isn't really known for being very active on social media. But during the Fever's game against the Storm, right after the news came out, while she was still on the team list, still getting paid by the team and still officially out for personal reasons. She chose that moment to make an Instagram post about the game, not about the team, just for fun.
She posted it during the game at like 11 p.m. At like 11 p.m.
Again, an Instagram post by itself isn't a big deal. But when you hardly post at all and then suddenly decide to share one late at night while your team is playing a game while you're away for unknown reasons and after fans have been wondering if you're okay, it just feels. And whether that was the plan or not, it left fans with a bad feeling. And speaking of bad feelings, that brings us to the next part of the report. Sources say things in Indy just felt strange from the beginning. Now yes, her playing was clearly off. She was getting less than half her normal points each game. But this shows it wasn't just a basketball issue. The team vibe wasn't there, and some people think her partner Alyssa Thomas may have helped her make the choice.
You guys remember what Alyssa Thomas said about the Indiana Fever fan base last year? And all the things that she heard coming from this fan base last year? That's off. You guys remember what Alyssa Thomas said about the Angel Reese Chicago Sky sham investigation, right? Oh, if Angel says she heard it, then we believe that she heard it. That's off, right? Right.
Before I show you the light at the end of this tunnel, drop a basketball in the comments if you think Dana wanted out for basketball reasons, or drop a P. You think it was personal. Now the Fever have real choices to make. They've known about this for a while and just kept it quiet. You'd hope they would have started planning. But even then, it's hard to move a costly player making $200,000 who is not playing well, and everyone knows she wants to leave. There's no power or demand, and they had to act quickly for a few reasons. She's not helping, she's a distraction, and if they waited too long, her pay would have become locked in. They had two options: trade her for almost nothing, or release her to free up space. The second one sounds like a waste, but at this point it was gaining by letting go.
She got benched, she couldn't handle it, I want out. She's not playing well, she's getting criticized, I want out. Her significant others called this fan base racist on 2 occasions now, I want out.
Here's the truth: if you don't want to be there, you've got to go. Because the longer she stayed on the team list, the more that unknown would hang over the Fever like a dark cloud. And the Fever leaders clearly felt the same way because they let her go within 24 hours. But that only fixes part of the problem, because the space she left is bigger than just her. The Fever are about to lose another player.
Opens up a lot for the Indiana Fever, as well as them having to scramble for what they're going to do next, because as I'm sure many of you know, Demiris Dantas, who is she is part of the front court of the Indiana Fever. She will be gone from the team after tonight's game against the Seattle Storm.
The Fever have made moves, but there's still a lot to fix. We're only a third of the way through the season. The team is holding on, but it's already been a hard. We had the hate speech investigation that led to nothing. Caitlin missed 5 games, and while her return against the Liberty felt like a fresh start, the very next game against the Sun had her hit hard again, with no real results beyond a couple of stronger fouls called later, and Sophie Cunningham gave the only real response on the court. All of this, with the spotlight always on her, has to be a lot for Caitlin. And we've got to bring the focus back to her, because this team, and honestly this whole league, centers around her. And right now, she's still pushing.
You know, Caitlin Clark continues to struggle. One of the worst games of her career, if not the worst game of her career against the Storm. I don't even think she had like the playmaking prowess that she had in the first half against the Aces or the Valkyries. Still wound up with 9 assists, 8 turnovers though, 0 of 6 from 3.
She just had another hard game against the Storm, and one thing I've noticed just from looking at X this past week is that fans are starting to mention it, Caitlin just seems sad, like the joy is gone.
I think for the challenge for myself going forward is just, continue to pour into every other aspect of the game, and I can continue to have an impact in, all those other areas. I thought I got to the rim well. It's just, certainly a tough shooting night, and, you got to find a way to continue to shoot and remain confident in myself, because I know I put the time in, but for me, I don't feel like it's, anything that's off.
Of course, losing and playing badly will affect your mood at a press conference. But you've got to wonder if the Dana situation, the Connecticut game, and everything else Caitlin's going, though, is starting to drain her. With Dana, this was someone Caitlin looked up to. She was truly excited to play with her. Back in training camp, she even said she wanted to win a ring for her. And now she's not just let down by how it ended, but probably also by the message it sends to the rest of the team.
DeWanna Bonner was brought in for leadership. She was brought in for leadership. And you want to know all that these young players learned from her? If things don't go your way, refuse to show up. Continue to get paid a max contract while you are sitting out, refusing to play.
Now I promised a bright side, and here it is. Dana didn't want to be with the Fever. To reach that point, there had to be problems behind the scenes, something everyone in the room likely felt. So as sad as it is, moving on clears the air. And let's be honest, she was making $200,000 to score 7 points a game and didn't look like her old self. That's a big amount of cap space tied to weak results. Now that money can go toward players who better match the system. Let's be real, they were never going to trade or release her. Otherwise, just like we're seeing with Bree Turner. So in the end, this is a clear win. Then there's the speed issue. Fans and experts have been saying it all season. The team plays too slow. Maybe now, with that team spot open, bring in some younger players. And that's why fans were excited to hear that the team had quickly brought back AR McDonald's. She brought much-needed energy, so that's an instant improvement. And they've still got the leadership from Natasha Howard and Sydney Carlson. That box is subject. They're still older. Experience and championship knowledge in the locker room. But there's still more to fix. The Fever have lost height, and it'll be interesting to see who they bring in. But whatever happens, it's better than keeping someone who doesn't want to be there. If you're still here, drop a basketball in the comments to let me know.